Welcome to the deep dive. So this time, we asked you to share some stuff from Me and the Boys Wrestling, and wow, you really delivered. We've got a ton to get through.
Yeah, lots of action this time around. Definitely some intriguing storylines developing too. I think
Hmm.
our mission today is going to be to try to make sense of it all, sort through what really matters.
Exactly. I mean, we've got backstage brawls, a wild Royal Rumble with some big surprises, championship implications, and yeah, a title match that ended in pure controversy.
It's a lot to digest for sure.
Yeah.
So let's break it all down.
Let's do it. First off, we got to talk about that backstage incident between Selena Snow and Canada. Now, this wasn't just some war of words. This got physical.
Yeah, no kidding. Throwing hands, reversals, even a chair got involved at one point. Sounds like things are escalating pretty quickly between those two.
And, Canada, she looks really familiar. Hasn't she been around somewhere else, maybe?
Hmm. I was thinking the same thing. That's something we might have to dig into a bit more if we come across anything for sure. But what's interesting about this whole situation is how it was handled, right? HR, like human resources, I guess, had to step in. They basically told Canada to find less physical ways to get attention before matches.
Yeah, that's not subtle at all. It's like they're saying Selena Snow is straight up avoiding a confrontation.
Exactly. It kind of feels like there's some deeper history there, or maybe some unresolved issues. Whatever it is, this backstage brawl sets the stage for some potentially explosive encounters down the line.
It definitely feels like a ticking time bomb. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about that tag team debut, the Midnight Outsiders versus the Insanity Effect. And it was an Extreme Rules match, too.
Yeah, this one has been getting a lot of buzz. People are calling it one of the greatest tag team matches ever seen in Me and the Boys Wrestling.
Wow, that's a pretty huge claim.
Right.
So, what exactly made this match so special?
Well, by all accounts, it was just a wild spectacle from start to finish. We're talking chairs, ladders, a kendo stick. They even used the steel stairs as weapons. Blood, near falls, the whole 9 yards.
They weren't messing around, huh?
Not even a little bit. It sounds like they really pushed the limits of what's acceptable in an Extreme Rules match. But it wasn't just mindless violence, though. It sounds like the match was really well paced, with great storytelling and some truly innovative spots.
And the Midnight Outsiders, they really made a statement with this debut.
Yeah.
It's like they arrived and instantly established themselves as a major force in the tag division.
Absolutely. And, they've got that kind of classic tag team look going on, right? Might remind some viewers of a certain legendary duo from back in the day.
Right, right. Interesting. Okay, so moving on to the crazy 30-man 3X Royal Rumble. Now, this was for a vacant cash in the satchel, which means the winner gets a shot at any championship they want, whenever they want. And this Rumble, man, it was packed with surprises.
Oh, yeah. It was a total game changer. Rumble matches are always unpredictable, but this one was off the charts. We had some major debuts, some unexpected returns. It was nuts.
So let's start with the Great Puma entering at number one.
This is a huge deal for me and the boys. The guy's a legend, undefeated for like 7 months straight in another federation. And he comes in and immediately lays down these demands. No hardcore matches, no submissions. He wants to win clean by pinfall only.
It's like he's this purist wrestler stepping into this world that's often full of chaos and hardcore brawls. I mean, it makes for an interesting contrast.
Definitely. And it sets up some really fascinating potential matchups down the line.
And then we had the debut of Killjoy. I mean, just the name sounds terrifying.
Right. He's got this reputation for being incredibly violent and dangerous. Apparently, some of the other wrestlers are genuinely scared of him. And, I mean, that kind of fear factor is a really powerful tool in wrestling.
Yeah, it creates this whole aura of unpredictability and danger. Nobody knows what he's capable of, and that makes him a threat to anyone in the ring.
And then, just to add to the chaos, we had the return of Connor Lachlan, entering at number 30, no less.
The ultimate power move. And this comes after he just abandoned his tag team partner, Cameron Taylor, a few weeks ago. The timing of this is just perfect.
Yeah, it adds this whole other layer of drama to the situation. Connor just waltzes back in after leaving Cameron high and dry, and now he's immediately in a position to challenge for a championship. What does this mean for Cameron, right?
Exactly. It's got to be a huge blow to his ego, to say the least. The Rumble match itself was crazy, too. We saw the Great Puma taking out JJ the Boss early on. Superintendent Dixon got eliminated by the Black Knight. And then Road Pig eliminated Frank here.
It was nonstop action. And then there was that moment where Nathan Lachlan eliminated Superintendent Dixon with the Belleville boomerang, and apparently that caused some backstage heat.
Oh, really? So like real-life tension spilling over into the match.
That's what it sounds like. It's always interesting when those lines get blurred. And then we had the Ultimate eliminating both Nathan Lackland and Superintendent Vixen. And then Richie Mills eliminated his own partner, Michael Myers.
Wow. I mean, that's got to be a story in itself, right? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher for sure. It makes you wonder what's happening behind the scenes. And then Elvis Viscera eliminated Dr. Volcano, who is supposedly his ally.
So much for loyalty in the Rumble, huh?
It's every man for himself out there. And in the blink of an eye, Torch eliminated Danger Boy, only to be immediately thrown out by the returning Connor Lachlan. What an impact.
Talk about making a statement. I mean, he was gone for like 3 weeks and then comes back and instantly asserts his dominance. It was brutal.
Absolutely. No time wasted. It was a message to everyone. Connor's back, and he's here to stay.
And then the final 3 came down to Connor, Cody Harris, and Fitz. And in the end, it was Connor who emerged victorious, claiming the cash-in satchel.
This is huge. It really shakes up the entire championship picture. And of course, the big question now is, what does this mean for Cameron Taylor?
Yeah, their rivalry is definitely heating up. Okay, so moving on, there was a quick mention during the tag title match that Frenchie had been the NXG killer until recently losing to Torch.
Interesting. It sounds like his dominance over the NXG faction might be waning a little.
And then they had a rematch, which ended in a draw. So it's not like Torch is completely dominating him, but it's definitely a sign that things are shifting.
Yeah, it's a little chink in the armor. Makes you wonder if the NXG has finally figured out a way to counter him.
Speaking of the tag title match, we had the Flash Brothers, Cameron Taylor, and Fingers challenging Lamu Elam. That's Frenchie Z. Becker and RJ the Terrible, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Another Extreme Rules match, by the way.
Yeah, they really went all out in this one. Garbage cans, ladders, tables, you name it. And apparently Cameron Taylor was particularly aggressive in this match.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't ignore the whole Connor situation. His former partner just waltzed back in and won a guaranteed title shot. That's got to be weighing on him.
Absolutely. It's got to be frustrating knowing that Connor is now in a position to potentially surpass him.
And to add insult to injury, it sounds like Frenchie spent a good chunk of the match outside the ring, letting RJ take most of the beating. Classic heel tactic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Frenchie's a veteran. He knows how to play the game. Why risk getting hurt when you can let your partner take the punishment?
And in the end, Frenchie seized his moment, spearing Cameron out of nowhere to secure the win for his team. A bit opportunistic, maybe, but effective nonetheless.
He's a wily one, that Frenchie. Knows when to strike.
And the commentary pointed out this kind of weird situation where the tag team champions are actually on different factions.
Yeah.
I mean, Frenchie and Mishi are with the Cobessers, while RJ the Terrible is part of the militia.
It definitely creates some interesting dynamics. I mean, their loyalties are divided, which could lead to some conflict down the line.
All right, then we had the Iron Lady title match, Sweet Death versus Mishi. This is a 15-minute Iron Man match, and it sounds like it was brutal.
It was a real slugfest. They used everything. A barbed wire bat, a chair, a table, even a garbage can. There were multiple pinfalls, submissions, back and forth the entire time.
Mishi actually scored the first fall, but then Sweet Death battled back to take the lead. But the real controversy came at the very end of the match. With less than a minute left on the clock, Mishi clearly tapped out while in Sweet Death's sharpshooter. But the referee missed it.
Yeah, and no fall was awarded, so Sweet Death ended up winning 6-5. But that missed tap out is going to be huge. It throws the whole legitimacy of the win into question.
Exactly. I mean, was Mishi really cheated out of the title? It's going to be a major talking point.
And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Will Mishi demand a rematch? Will it escalate into a full-blown feud? We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so then we had DMP, with his whole crew backing him up, losing to the Jabberwocky. Now, the Jabberwocky earned this title shot by winning a tournament, so this is a pretty significant victory for him.
It's a huge upset, for sure, especially considering that DMP had all his usual support at ringside, while the Jabberwocky came out alone.
But it just goes to show you anything can happen in wrestling.
Exactly, and this win really establishes the Jabberwocky as a legitimate threat.
But it seems like he might not even get to use his title shot. I mean, Dablock, who was on commentary for the match, immediately jumped up and challenged the Jabberwocky for the shot at Lucky 13.
Talk about adding insult to injury, right?
Yeah.
The guy earns a hard-fought title shot, and then some commentator just decides he wants it. That's bold.
It's a power move for sure. Creates a whole new layer of drama, too.
Absolutely.
And finally, we come to Angelo King. The guy just keeps winning. He was part of the HRS team in the War Games match against the Nicities, which was, well, a war.
Yeah, 2 rings, weapons galore. The Nicities actually had the numbers advantage for a while, but in the end, it was Hunter S. Mustache who got the pin on Angelo King.
And apparently there was a low blow involved, so bit of a controversial finish there.
Yeah, sounds like it. But a win's a win, I guess. And this was a big one for the Nicities. Earned them some major points in the faction wars.
But Angelo King wasn't done yet. He went on to defend his QLW championship against King Slick in the main event.
And it sounds like it was a wild one. Intense, bloody, high-flying, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there was interference from both sides. Cameron Taylor and Fingers were out there supporting King Slick, while Nathan Lachlan and Butch Duncan backed up Angelo King.
So the faction lines are really starting to get blurred, which is interesting. Adds a whole other layer of complexity to the storylines.
And in the end, Angelo King retained his title, becoming the first male member of HRS to hold gold.
That's a huge accomplishment for him and for HRS as a faction. It really elevates their status and gives them some much-needed momentum.
It does make you wonder who's going to step up and challenge him next, though.
Yeah, the QLW championship picture is definitely heating up.
All right, so that was a lot. I mean, you guys really gave us a lot to think about this time. From shocking debuts and returns in the Royal Rumble, to that controversial Iron Lady match, to Angelo King's continued reign of dominance. There's so much to unpack.
It really gives you a sense of the wild, unpredictable nature of me and the boys wrestling. I mean, anything can happen, and it usually does.
So what are your thoughts? What stood out to you the most? What questions do you still have? We want to hear from you. Keep the conversation going in the comments below, and we'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of Me and the Boys Wrestling.